Hi guys, today we're going to be making a delicious pot of codfish with eggplant, bacalao. And for this simple recipe, we're going to be using 1 onion, which we're going to slice up. We're also going to be slicing up an orange pepper, as well as a red pepper, yellow pepper, sofrito. We're going to be using some sazon, some chicken bouillon. We're going to also be using some cumin, black pepper, and we're going to be using olives, but it's optional, so you don't have to put them in if you don't like them. Olive oil. I'm going to be using 2 eggplants that I got from my local farmer's market. We're also going to be using 2 bags of bacalao. I just want to mention that I think it's best if you soak the bacalao the night before. This is what it looks like. When you take it out the package, you want to rinse it in cold water to remove the salt that's on it. Then you want to soak it in cold water, changing the water throughout the day of the codfish until cooking time. And these are the 2 bags that the bacalao came in. And you want to get it sin espina, is without the little bones. And you want to make sure it's salted, okay? Salt is going to give you the best flavor. So now I am peeling my eggplant. And when I cut my eggplant, I cut them into to squares, to chunks. I like to leave some of my eggplant on the bigger side, and then I leave some of my eggplant on the smaller side. The reason that I do that is because I want these smaller eggplants to break up in my sauce while it's cooking. That way it can give my sauce a little thickness to it. As you're cutting your eggplant, you want to have a pot of boiling water ready for your eggplant to cook in. And you want to salt that water also when it comes to a boil. Okay, so once we salt our water and we start cooking our eggplant, we want it to cook for about 5 minutes, and then I take it out and I rinse it. I'm sorry, I don't rinse it. I take it out the water and I just let it sit in cold water to stop it from cooking, because you don't want the eggplant to overcook before you put it into your bacalao sauce, because it will break apart. So now I have here all my sliced up veggies, which are my peppers, 1 head of chopped up garlic, which I forgot to mention. I have onions and tomato sauce. So now I have allowed my pot to warm up on a medium to high heat, and I dumped in my olive oil. You don't want the olive oil to be extremely hot, because we are going to be putting in our garlic, and we are trying to warm up the garlic with the olive oil. We don't want the garlic to cook right away. Besides, once we shred up our bacalao and we dump it in the oil with the garlic, we kind of want it to cook together. So after giving this a good stir, I am going to start shredding up my bacalao and putting it in the oil. I think it's easier for you to shred your bacalao into a bowl and then dump it in the oil. For some reason, I don't know why, as you see me right now shredding the bacalao over the pot. And I don't know why I did it this way, but if you want to do it this way, it's perfectly fine. Or if you just want to shred it in a bowl and then just dump it into the pot, you can do that as well. After shredding all of our bacalao, In the pot, we are going to stir the bacalao and the olive oil and the garlic together. And then we're going to be adding our sofrito to this. And my sofrito looks a little on the thick side because when I went to make the sofrito this day, my blender was not working. So I ended up having to make the sofrito in my NutriBullet. And you know that thing is powerful. So yeah, it blended it a little on the thick side. So, and if you're not a big fan of sofrito, you can add the sofrito to your liking. Here I add enough for 2 bags of bacalao. So to this I'm adding my tomato sauce and I'm going to give it a good stir. Doesn't that look pretty? Okay guys, so after giving that a good stir, and you see that it is bubbling there, we are going to cover it for about 5 minutes. And the reason I do this is so that it can start releasing all those natural juices, which you are looking at right there. So please, please, please do not add water to this recipe. Let the natural juices do its thing. So once we have those juices flowing, we're going to start adding our eggplant to this. And the eggplant is also going to be releasing its own natural juices. Okay, so once you added all of the eggplant and gave it a good stir, we're going to start adding our cumin and our pepper to that, and we're also going to give it a good stir. Now we're going to add our sazon, and I'm adding 2 envelopes of sazon because it's 2 packets of bacalao. But please keep in mind when you're making this dish, you don't want to over season it because the codfish, the bacalao, is already salty. So by adding too many seasonings, you can overpower the dish where it becomes very, very salty. So you don't want to do that. You can just taste it as you're cooking it. That's what I would do. So you can see how your flavors and your seasonings are coming along because, like I said, the codfish has already salt in it. So you don't want to over season it. So after adding the cumin, tomato sauce, and the sofrito, we're going to, and you see I just took a little taste. We're going to allow this to come to a boil. Once it has come to a boil, as you see here, we're going to start adding in our onions and our peppers to this. And we're going to give it a good stir to combine all of that goodness. Oh my God, it looks so beautiful. And this was amazing. And remember, I cook for 6 to 7 people here. So my recipes at time will be, a big recipe for, 6 to 7 people. But if you're only cooking for 3 people or 4 people, just divide the recipe in half. So. And this, oh my God, it was so delicious. I did have leftovers. I had a container of bacalao. So what I did was that after everyone ate, I took leftovers and I put them in a container. and I put them in the freezer. After cooking for 15 minutes, I uncovered it and I added my olives. I like my olives added towards the end of my dish. And I'm giving it a good stir. Once my olives have been blended in, I will cover this again and I will allow it to cook for another 5 to 7 minutes. Oh my God, this is a good dish to make on a Sunday. You can freeze it and then you can warm it up during the week and make it with rice or any kind of root vegetables, anything you like. Or like I said, honey, just make that Italian bread with it. So here it is and it's done. Oh, I'm reminiscing. This was so good. Amazing. Good comfort food. Bacalao. I hope you give this recipe a try. It was amazing and very, very, very easy to make. You make this at your house for any of your guests, you'll be cooking like a professional. Ya tú sabes, like and subscribe. I hope you enjoy. Que Dios lo bendiga. Bye.